This is the morning shift.
Listen right here. If you didn't watch MAFS, if you don't even care about MAFS, scroll on.
It's not for you.
This ain't for
and that's
you.
fine, honestly.
But for the two people in the show that actually did watch MAFS, we've had to do a special episode drop today to talk about those final vows.
Well, I didn't actually watch the whole thing, but I wish I did. I got in late. I got in real late, as in like the last 7 episodes. Mm-hmm. And I wish I did watch, but like I felt like I had seen enough. And the last 7, they got me good.
The amount of messaging I was doing through Instagram to people who are watching at the same time as me, season 13, final vows just happened. People just want to talk. They want to get it out.
I don't know about the CV, my bad. Yeah, that's a good CV.
But you've watched enough to be able to have this conversation with. And for those who are hungry for more MAFS chat on the show, this is our opportunity.
Bro, Jordan was literally just sitting on that couch. He heard we were about to start this. He walked out. I think he's actually gone home.
He's gone home.
I think he said, I'm going home. I want no part of this. I'm going home.
So season 3, Australia MAFS has come to an end. We've had the final vows. Only 4 out of the 12 couples made it to the very end to have their final vows.
Is that about right?
I feel like there was more last season.
On previous years? Yeah, I can't remember.
And I think, there was a few that had perished well and truly into the show. They'd gone.
A few that I had never seen.
Yeah.
You know, when you showed me, I said, hold on, I've come in the last 7 episodes. We've lost 7 couples.
Yeah, season 13, I think, is, if we look in review from past experience with MAFS, I feel like the producers cooked in season 13.
They do, eh?
They had great shots of different facials that may not have actually happened at that particular time. They had picked great couples.
Man.
They had picked a lot of females, I felt, that were quite obsessed with the drama rather than the relationships.
Yeah, they know who they're casting. So, like, look, I'm not a love expert. I'm no doctor.
Neither.
Clearly. But if I was one of the experts, I don't know if I'm necessarily choosing some of those people to be on the show. You know what I mean?
If my job was, you're only going to get paid per couple that stay,
yeah,
I would imagine they'd go for different people.
But by producer, if I had my producer's hat on, well done.
Very, very,
very good cast.
So the goal of today's just quick show that we're putting together here is we're gonna compare notes. I'm gonna give you my notes. We can ask questions, and you know what? If you watched the entire season 13 of MAFS, you too will have your notes. You can see if they compare as well, and we'll just talk about those couples that made it to the end. And we'll also add in just that bonus couple, Gia and Scott, at the very end, just to have our feelings on that.
We would have done this on the podcast, but we did like a 30-minute what we call break once, and some people didn't like that. So we just thought, let's go do it over here, but still under the same roof.
We can have our little wee...
but we're not pissing everybody off being over here right now.
Right, let's start with how they did the rundown. Final vows, Alyssa and David. Now.
Oh, yes, Alyssa and David, yes.
Remembering before this episode, we had seen David on his knees.
Begging.
Danny
actually said, if I can correctly state what Danny told him, he was like a hungry dog that hadn't been fed because he was begging so much.
Danny, that's a whole nother story. So they go into this final vows. He's very much on the back foot. And as a man, watching another man who I felt was completely vindicated in the way he told Alyssa that the way he felt after she went and did the team date with the person who she may also have been. The possibles. I actually felt like he stood on business with that. Like he didn't, whether or not you thought he should feel jealous from the way she acted, doesn't actually matter. He felt jealous and he wanted to have his feelings heard, and all he was wanting from her was okay, well, I'm sorry I made...
No recognition.
That's it. He just wanted to be seen. And I think that whole relationship probably would have got through to the final vows and been a success had she just stopped and gone, all I need to do here is to say, look, I didn't feel like I was doing anything wrong. However, you did, and I care for your feelings.
Producer's dream.
Do you know what I mean?
Producer's dream.
But she couldn't stop. She started ramping it up.
Yeah, nah, David was led by the law. That's what, he was like, he was X's and O's, like I felt like he did cover all. He was also a bit of a G, if I can be honest.
Well, he was a rapper. He had a former rap career.
He had a rap career?
Yeah.
Well, he was kind of good with his words, so yeah, I can maybe see that. But he was a gangster because he got to the vows. He went first. He articulated it very well. I thought maybe he had a bit of help from the writers. Maybe he didn't, because I thought it was such a good speech. You know, it started with the highs, then it got to the lows, went back to the highs, and it finished obviously on the low. But he gave her the speech, looked her dead in the eyes, and didn't pull the fingers in her face, but he walked off, and he didn't turn around once. He kept the stride the same way. She said, "You're not going to listen to my vows." He didn't turn around. His walk didn't slow down. Like, he had made his mind up. He went. I did laugh. And you shouldn't laugh in these situations, but I did laugh when it went to the widescreen and Alyssa was reading her vows to no one.
She continued through with it. Now, I thought
Producer's dream.
That's a producer's dream. I actually have no ill feelings towards either of these two in this couple. Not that I should ever have an ill feeling toward anyone on TV, but I felt like they both kind of did their thing. I think Alyssa at the very start making him take a knee to ask her to marry him, like that was very awkward. I thought things were slightly off when Bex was doing all their hunting back in, was it Melbourne where they came from? Can't remember what town.
Yeah, I missed that part.
Adelaide, whatever it is. I think there was something slightly off, and I could never put my finger on it until David stood up and said, "I didn't feel great when I watched that video back, and I need to tell you how I feel." And she was like, "But I did nothing wrong. I did nothing wrong." It had nothing to do with how he was feeling.
She was wearing the blue, wasn't she?
Yeah,
I remember that.
You know what I mean?
She was wearing the blue, I remember.
Yeah. So they both went apart. They made it to the end, but never quite made it past the end. David and Alyssa. Look, round of applause. I thought it was a great effort to make it to the end. All right, let's bring up our next couple, and that is Rachel and Steve. And you know what? Stephen and Rachel, beautiful couple, riddled with shortcomings, I guess is a nice way of putting it. I kind of found, any of my girl mates who I've talked to, when I say girl mates, people who I've talked with that are seeing a Stephen for the first time in their lives.
Are we the only two dudes watching this?
Well, no.
There's a few of us. Hey, lads. Hey, lads.
For the girls who've never seen a Stephen before, we all know a Stephen.
Yeah,
as friends, we all know a Stephen.
I'm not even going to say the person's name.
Bro,
but when I was watching it, I was watching the person I knew.
They are harmless.
Yes, bro.
They are the most harmless people in this world. And if you're ever going to try and find someone, like if you can put
Coolest
up with,
dudes.
yeah, if you can put up with the trainer wheels on a Stephen, man, you've got yourself an OG.
Yeah.
You've got yourself a day one-er.
Always welcome.
Stick with you through everything.
Good, like a good person.
And you may see, like, because I don't think a lot of girls are familiar with a Stephen, because the questions that were coming my way, like, he's goofy, he's weird, he's a bit. No. He's just
Break
pure.
through that.
He is
Once
pure.
you break through that, what's waiting for you on the other side? Because I bet you the Stevens we know, I don't even reckon we know the best parts of them.
No.
But we still love them.
Exactly.
They're saving that for you.
They're saving that for the Rachels out there. So
yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah.
I agree with that. I do feel like, I do feel a little bit like, because if you watch the show, you understand that they had some intimacy issues, you know, and, you know, he laid it on her at the end, you know, we got to get a little bit more of that, you know, and so I hope that itch was scratched, and for lack of better words, you know, we were rooting for you is what I was trying to say, Stephen. We was rooting for you. We was rooting for you. So I hope, but you said that they may be.
Someone messaged me over Instagram and said they broke up a week later.
I haven't seen it.
I haven't seen it either.
So I hope that you guys...
you were just making that up and just making me feel like, yeah, you thought, didn't you? So Rachel and Stephen, they had a loving
it was
end
cool.
to it. That was a cool end to their story.
I like Rachel too.
I like her too.
Oh, man.
Her
we're
laugh.
giving Anthony a lot of love. Hold on. Oh, sorry, that was the guy's name.
Stephen.
No, the person that I used to think is...
Oh.
He was an Anthony.
Anthony's the Stephen.
Oh. Sorry, but...
Stevens are great, and I'm sure Anthony has
But
found love.
Anthony, bro, this guy, he has found love.
Exactly.
I saw them not too long ago down at the beach. So if you listen to this, you're the Anthony I'm thinking of. 2 kids look so happy.
Perfect.
Wore dirty New Balances, but I know he makes heaps of money.
Loyal to the soil.
Good on you. But Rachel, great laugh.
Not great laugh.
Nah, I like the laugh, bro.
Oh,
I like the laugh.
Sorry, Rachel. Not that it matters.
Yeah, and she was a ride or die too.
Yeah.
You know, she was cool. So I like
Well
you too.
done. Yep. Good couple. Made it through to the end. Happy about that. So if we're looking at the ratio, that means out of the 2 couples that made it to the end, One stayed together.
50%.
And one did a mic drop moment.
Yep.
Let's move through to the next couple that was popped up on our screens in the final vows of season 13. Remember, 4 of the 12 couples made it.
Yep.
Beck and Danny. Oh. My notes. Yep. Danny, we all know a Danny in our group too. A guy who's not willing to throw his cards down on the table. A guy who is funny, he's goofy, he's the best dude to be around, especially when you're going through drama, because he'll make sure that you're feeling good about things.
Kind of holds himself to a level.
He does hold himself to a level, but he's never necessarily, like, you never quite know. And I think Danny, if I'm being honest, I think I pinpoint the exact moment Beck and Danny weren't going to work, and it was way back when the honeymoon happened, and Danny was accused of looking at some other girl on the beach all day, and this was Beck.
About that, eh?
And he never bounced back from that because Beck never resolved that situation. So he was constantly thinking, okay, so at any point, she could create some drama and we're never going to have closure to it or resolution because she's just going to keep on believing it. No matter what I say, no matter how, I can't work with this. But he managed to turn it off then and go through the entire series, the entire season 13.
Not a quitter type of a guy.
Not a quitter kind of guy, still knowing that he was never, ever going to end up with Beck at the very end. And
I think he did know.
He knew.
I think he knew, yeah.
He knew, but Beck never knew that whole time. So kept that card nice and close to his chest. He had several times, maybe if she had acted differently and hadn't been involved in so much drama, she may have been able to pull that situation back. But it never happened. She continued to get involved in all the drama. And look, I'm not picking a side here because I think there's faults on both sides here. But Beck and Danny, probably the most hostile couple on the show.
Yeah. From what I saw, and Gia and Scott, they loved a little bit of it too.
Yep, they were involved. But I feel like most of the drama came from
She
Beck.
was always a part of it, eh?
She was always a part of it. And here's my great assumption. This is the conversation, and I'm letting you in on a little bit of a. This is behind closed doors. Is something I wouldn't normally say publicly because
everyone that didn't jump over here, and you know, math listeners, you're missing out on a nugget.
Beck and Danny, lovely couple, I'm sure, lovely people individually. But what it felt like to me and the way that the producers put Beck's storyline together is Beck used to be heavier than what she is. She used to hold more weight, as in she was larger. Mm-hmm. She lost a lot of weight. And she gave me the impression that she still kept the confidence of being an overweight person in a skinnier person's body. That was my conversation I had with my wife. It's like, you want to be confident, but you don't quite believe it yet. You've lost a lot of weight. You still feel like people are looking at you a certain way. You don't have that confidence, but you're putting it out there like you do. It was a weird kind of, and I hope she finds peace with it. This is a stranger sitting on a couch looking at somebody else's life put in front of me with a producer's mindset on, looking at it. That's what it felt like to me. Beck was never quite carrying the confidence she should have as the person who she is. So she started to pull apart other people's relationships and stop looking at her own because it was too sore to look at her own relationship.
Do you know what I felt with Beck? And I don't know if anyone else feels this, but I struggled to like her the whole time. Well, until the very end. When Danny said his vows. Well, sorry, she said her vows first.
Yes, she did.
And told
him,
I love you so much. Oh. And, we're going to get through this. And so she clearly had committed. And then Danny gets to say his speech. And at the end of it, he says he can't do it. And instead of the yah she's done the whole time, it was, man, she took that one on the chin. And even Danny said after, he was like, why couldn't it be like that the whole time? That's what I wanted the whole time. And I believe him when he says that. But, oh God, I felt for her in that moment. Like the very end when it cuts to her and she's just by herself. And I believe those tears when she walked off. I've struggled to like her at points during the show. But man, I felt sorry for her at the end.
That's again, hark back to the very thing that I said about the honeymoon. That is a vulnerable person accepting that that's the truth. That's the first time in the show she sat there and accepted that the truth is Danny is not going to be with you any longer.
Yeah, if I saw that earlier.
If she had, and he was waiting too as well.
That's what he was waiting for.
That was all he was waiting for. No matter what happened on the honeymoon, that would have been wiped clean. but she never gave
She wasn't
that.
acting.
No.
Bro, I know in that moment she was. That's what it is, bro. I know she wasn't acting in that moment, and I think Danny knew look at us trying to break it down. Experts, we can do this too. I think he was searching for that because he knew he had it, he knew she had it, but she just never showed it. And I think because then I saw that, I was like, she was acting the whole time.
Yeah.
I thought she was cameras. She knows where the cameras are. She's saying, Gia, dear Scott, I'll start this argument for you. Like she was just always in it, and it just felt like the thing that he was searching for, he got it at the very end. Which, that's got to suck.
At the risk of sounding like we're piling in on a girl here, and it's Beck, Danny's a dick too. Like Danny could have been clearer with his feelings. Danny isn't particularly able to hang in an emotional conversation for lengths of time. He's probably not particularly good at reflecting on who and what it is he wants. So there were times where Danny could have given her so many more clues if she had received and stopped and listened. So there are faults on both sides. And that's why it's so nice being perfect sitting here.
What a show.
What a show. What an absolute...
Hey, round of applause to you for making it to the end as well.
You made it through to the end. That means it was 2 out of 3 couples that broke up on the final vows. And that leaves us with probably the most... This was this season's home run hitter from the get-go. There was never ever a stage, despite what the producers tried to do, there was never ever a stage where Stella and Philip never looked like they were going to make
like
it.
that, eh?
They were like that. And that, it just gave me hope in relationships. Stella at times was the sole flag bearer of normality for the entire female side of things on that show, because they'd chosen such an eclectic cast of people.
It was a range.
It was such a big range of emotional and this and that. Stella, to me, and I think most guys who would have watched it as well, seemed like she had her head switched on, seemed like she was there for the right reasons, seemed like she'd gone through enough to go, okay, this is going to be just as much on me as it is on him. And it felt like how a relationship should look like in the modern world.
Yeah, they just went together like white on rice, eh? I was kind of confused at the end when he proposed again, because I thought they were already married, but he was just trying to do it the right way. You know, like, I thought they were already married, but then I was like, okay, now this is the case. He's just going to do it for real, for real.
Is it for real, for real?
Like, okay, he must really love her. Good on him.
That's it.
Like, he spelled his name with an F. I didn't like that. But outside of that, he was pretty bloody good.
Yeah. Philip and Stella, I mean, that was a dead given from day dot that they were going to make it all the way through. So a round of applause. Well done. Probably season 13's most solid couple from the get-go. There was one other couple, though, that I did want to bring up into this conversation. I know everybody around the country is having these conversations with their friends at the moment. So
everyone.
If you're sitting in the car, going somewhere, you're stuck inside, there's nothing to watch on TV, whatever it is, and you're listening to this and you want to compare your notes, write in the comments what you were thinking, what we've got wrong, what you thought about each couple as well, because I'm fascinated. I'm in the energy right now. But I did also want to bring up, of course, the couple that is Gia and Scott, because they didn't quite make it. They were puttering along. And I remember when we first talked about this on the show, Gia and Scott were the ones who I said, they're a super competitive couple who expect the greatness from each other and from themselves. So we're better than those couples. We're going to stay together because of that. It got all the way, it bumbled and stumbled its way all the way to the very end until the last moment. And then it was Scott that really...
Scott just went, I got something to say.
Yeah, and Scott said his truth.
I did like it because she had the... See, this is where Beck gets back involved, and, you know, she's saying, you know, do you know how to cry? Can you cry? Crying would be great, you know? They put them in the bathroom, they're hiding out the back, and if you could turn the tears on, you know, that'd be good. And then they start talking, and Beck's over there like, yeah, God. And Gia's reading out her note, you know, she's trying to get her point across. I mean, I'm sure she's feeling like Barack up there, you know, just like she's really saying something. And I love that Scott was just like, Uno reverse, and got to say his thing, and then walked off, and like he's been trying to say it for so long,
and how true to it too.
Yeah, I think he genuinely, to me, it felt like he actually was trying to give it a real good go.
You know what? One of the biggest themes before we go that I found out of this MAFS season was, for me personally, as a guy sitting there with my wife discussing everything that's going on, and it's always something that I enjoy doing. I have 2 TV shows that one sits purely over this side and one sits purely over this side, and it equalizes somewhere in the middle. I'm the commonality that sits in there. It's Love on the Spectrum, which I find is the most...
I heard that's great. I need to watch
the most pure form of love. These are people who are autistic, who have seen movies, who hear what love is supposed to be about, and then they go and try and experience, and you can see that they're There is no acting. There is no intention other than trying to
real.
experience love. And then you've got MAFS on the other side, which gives you the absolute pure,
Polar
polar opposite. People being idiots, people trying their hardest, some people not, people riddled with problems. Is it them? Is it me? Whatever the case. I found season 13 for me, this season was very heavily weighted in the females going at each other in ways that they shouldn't. A lot of drama between the girls, a lot of uneasiness with each other. So
I hear you, brother, but we're making a show,
I
They
get
know
it.
what they're doing.
There's that, but I think the real theme that shone through was eventually, no matter who you are or what you are, the men gradually started to stand up and say what it was, say what their truths were, how they had felt throughout the whole thing, whether it was at the end episode or a couple of episodes before, and it was the same thing. All the couples started to fall like flies. You've got the girls who've taken all the camera time, and it's this and that and this and that and this and that and this and that and this and that, and boys all sitting there saying nothing, and then the boys finally say something and then they all tipped over.
I feel like producer's dream, once again, that's the point. But I think that, and I'm speaking on behalf of ladies, don't tell me if I'm wrong here, but I don't think that there'll be many females out there that are going, nah, they represented us really, really well.
No, I agree. I agree.
That type of energy.
I agree.
But that's also the producers know what they're doing. Like 100% the producers are just, they got me hook, line, and sinker as soon as I started watching episode 24 or what it was, like boom, and I didn't have to watch anything before it. I felt like I was up to date.
Imagine if I agree, and imagine if every girl who's listening to this sits there and agrees with that exact take. That the producers have chosen absolutely out there people. They are not like the modern females. There's nothing to do with Instagram telling us that we should be this or that or da-da-da-da. And these are completely out of nowhere people that they've gone out and found, and there's no relationship to me here, and that this isn't something that we could look at and go, as a modern day test case, out of everyone they had on the show, because remember, they're looking for characters on the dude side as well. They are looking for the most out there.
Boys got to be better, aren't they?
Well, that's the thing, though. That was what I get. I get that they're going to be searching for the most highest of highs and lowest of lows. I get that to make this show work and to make us be interested in it. But I do think you can take a little bit from the casting into what is happening in modern days, that there is a real kind of swing of things going on here. That the limelight, that the arguing, the meanness, the mean girl stuff to the other girls is something that I had never seen and experienced as well.
No, I didn't think it was like, was it feisty?
Yeah.
Mean is the word.
One commonality that you can usually have is the dudes will always, they'll find a pecking order and then they'll just hang like that and they'll all like each other pretty much through to the end.
See the rugby in the weekend, brother?
That's it. Do you know what I mean? But
Yeah.
if anything, season 13 had a lot more volatility coming from the female side of things.
What I will say before, shout out to everyone who did the show.
Yeah.
Like, man, you got to be brave to do that show. When I tell you, I would never.
Bro, they've said,
I would never.
They have asked.
Well, they're asking the wrong person.
You should do it.
Don't waste your time. I would never.
Why?
For that reason alone, the last 25 minutes of what we just talked about. I could never.
You reckon you'd be
do
trapped?
that show. Yeah, it's just not me. But I do love watching it, and I think you got to be very brave to do it. And we actually don't know any of these people from a bar of soap, and we got to see what the producers wanted us to see.
Yeah.
So you actually might not be the person. Sometimes you get shown enough evidence, you just have to believe what is shown to you.
That's it.
But that's all we can take from. But like,
Hey, season 14, they are taking applications for the next round of people for
good
MAFS.
show. Great show.
If someone is listening to us just talking about it right now and has that same kind of energy and is actually going to apply, again, if you're keen to apply, write it in the comments. Brooke and I are going
talk to us. Yeah, talk to us.
Talk to us. We'd love to hear.
Yes.
We'd love to be a part of it.
You know what we should do next year? I'm just putting in already like the separate part to the TMS show. We should do like an update every day.
You'd like that? If you'd like that, write that in the comments too.
Actually, I don't want to do it if it's just us, because we can just have the conversation by ourselves. No one actually listen to this.
Yeah.
We have this conversation anyway.
We're going to have this conversation.
So
anyway.
we need at least we need thousands and thousands and thousands of likes to do it.
Oh, and finally, obviously, a pretty harrowing. There's going to be a change to the experts because we lost one of our experts on the way through. And Mel, the way that she addressed not only the contestants, the way she held herself through some of the most frustrating moments in the season and many seasons before, we're going to miss her. And that was so sad that she passed on. I thought MAFS did a pretty good job of paying tribute. They probably could have done more, in my opinion. But
yeah, I thought they could have done more too.
yeah, I feel like maybe Mel probably wouldn't want it to be taken away from the people who were on
still,
there. And sad that she's gone. And it'll be probably another expert that they'll bring in. But
You know who I think they'll bring in? And yes, you're right. And
me?
I did really, us after this performance. I did, I loved Mel, and she had a young daughter.
Yes.
You know, and so love to the family. I think that they're going to bring in the guy who does the after party dinner. You know how they're doing it in real time?
Yes, yeah.
There's a guy on there who's kind of like the host of the show. I think he'll come in and be the next expert. That's my call now. Yeah,
But they're all. Is he a psychologist?
I don't know.
Yeah, I think that all of them are qualified like relationship experts.
Oh, well.
Well, we are.
I was going to say,
Joking.
we just put it in.
Hey, I hope you
We're gonna get
enjoyed
paid for that.
season 13 of MAFS. Let us know in the comments. A, do you want to go and apply for season 14? B, what you thought of each of the couples that made it through? And C, whether you think we should do a sort of like a talk along for the next season because
365 days. We get started again.
chattering on it. Love you guys.
This is The Shift. The Shift.
Go home, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go home.
The Morning Shift.
I'm gonna make him an offer he can't refuse.
The Shift.
I love you.
This is The Shift.